Welcome. This is Archangel. Okay, so we devalue males in order to justify their usage and discardation. And the worst offenders are males. Males are the problem, flat out. Males are the reason gynocentrism has any traction on the ground. You can say gynocentrism is an offshoot of a reproductive species of sexual dimorphism, where the reproduction rests mostly with the female, and thus all participants are compelled to protect the female. But let's break it down. Male devaluation and disposability exists because males allow it to, and males are complicit, even actively engaged in, its transmission into the next generation. My revolution, my compassion, and my seething venom, all is aimed at males. I do not take such fervent issue with females. They are an annoyance, like mosquitoes around your picnic table, or water up your nose when you are swimming. No, I take issue with female entitlement enablers. Males. I take issue with those who allow females to be entitlement vacuums in the first place. Females only have bite or traction in society because males give it to them and enforce female privilege onto other males simply to please their slave masters and get 3 seconds of tuna salad orgasm followed by a good boy pat on the head. That is, if he did everything he was instructed to do beforehand. If he took out the trash, painted the house, paid her car note, etc. Otherwise, that procrastinating shovel gets no lovin'. Now, there are many different forms devaluation enabling takes. Everything from conservatism to white knights to manginists to feminists. However, in the hierarchy of gynocentric threats, if devising a hit order based upon detriment level of the enemy and ordering a strike against a single target, who would it be? If I, being a gynocentric assassin, made it past the perimeter and approached the enemy's fortifications, and I had only one grenade left, and therefore could choose only one misandristic male abusive enemy stronghold to lob it into, it would have to be the DO's headquarters. You see, white knights are toxic, vile weaponry against male welfare, period. However, I contemplated the male offenders of male welfare, and I find that white knights are merely a subset of a larger male group which I have come to label DOs, devaluation, disposal, enforcement operatives. You see, DOs are the enforcement division of male devaluation. They are like law enforcement. They are the muscle that literally enforces male disposability. DOs will actually physically impose female elevation and male devaluation upon other males. DOs are like the military at large, and white knights are a branch of that military. I associate manginas as a branch of feminism because they are so slimy, weak, and pathetic. Indeed, white knights are sad, pathetic, trained monkeys, yet these white shovels have the physical or social power to enforce male disposability and female worshipping privilege. White knights come in many different forms, from bodybuilders to bikers to construction workers, who interject themselves into any situation to defend any female and uphold gynocentrism. We have white knights who are business magnates, who fund female initiatives or fund feminist propaganda or public smear campaigns which fuel the fire or victim narrative of rape culture which impugns males and the innocence of future generations of males. Then we have the politicians that introduce and pass female entitling legislation in countries around the globe. White knights are usually the physically stronger alpha type who have the corporeal size or the clout and financial wherewithal to enforce female elevation and male denigration. DOs of any stripe or flavor are the pit bulls that physically enforce male devaluation and disposal. These are the males that will restrain another male as a female abuses them, or they will beat you down and give the last parachute to a female. Manginas and simps merely whimper and placate their female overlords, yet they are pretty benign physically. DOs, on the other hand, physically enforce male devaluation. DOs, such as white knights, are the boots on the ground, where the rubber meets the road in relation to male devaluation and disposability. Without a DO's tactile, real-world enforcement of male expendability, misandry and gynocentrism would only exist in ether, as thought forms, as biases and bigotry in people's minds. And hence the only tool females could wield to sway males would be the dispersal or withholding of sex, or the embellishment of fragility as a tool to manipulate male behavior. That's all females could sequester to sway males, since they would not have males enforcing female agendas onto other males, whether physically or legislatively. Males enforcing and propagating chivalry and female privilege is the reason males are abused. White knighting is a particularly brutal branch of DO, and white knighting is such a plague on males. Now, where white knighting comes from boasts multitudinous sources, such as traditionalism indoctrination, biological instincts to protect the procreative vessels of nature, or it may even harbor from male self-loathing and deprecation, which compels fellas to elevate females and worship them. Now, where the tendency to worship women and kill men comes from, these are the only variables. What is not in question, what is as sure as the summer sky, is that the effects DOs precipitate are fatal to males. DOs kill males. For example, white knighting enforces female infantilization. It enforces female privilege. It enforces female coddling. It enforces females' princess attitudes. White knights enforce female immunity to consequences, hardships, toils, labor, repercussion for females' malevolent actions, etc. White knights abuse males, they attack males who defend themselves, they shame males, and they brainwash juvenile males to be shovels, open doors for ladies, do all the heavy lifting for females, protect all female citizenry from harm or detriment, and man up, swallow your hurts, your pain, your emotions, and provide for females. Be the man of the house, and take care of mom or sister or granny or Mrs. Smith the neighbor. And if males do not willingly put themselves in harm's way for females, white knights will force them to. White knights are the men holding guns to your head to keep you at bay while females board the life raft. They are the males that appear out of nowhere to beat you down if you raise your voice or hands to any female. They are the ones who fund campaigns or legal initiatives to benefit females at the expense of males. A male privilege tax would be a white knight's doing. They are the bouncers that will physically restrain you while letting the females go in. White knights are pathetic excuses for fathers and do more harm than good to our sons. They will make Junior carry Aunt Jenny's groceries or jump up to stow some anonymous female passenger's luggage in the overhead compartment, or take any and all abused females' dish out, no matter what. Whether directly or indirectly, white knighting abuses males, kills males, then discards of males, so newly indoctrinated shovels can take the place of the old ones. White knighting upholds a system which uses and discards of males. White knights are responsible for male suicide via the gynocentric female-worshipping, male-slandering system they enforce, which places such pressures upon male shoulders to the point that some hurting males end their burst of mortality early. Moreover, white knights are emotionally toxic by compelling males to actually take pride in being lesser beings of utility, to take pride in being shovels, tools for the helpless, sweet, angelic damsels. Yes, it is that far-reaching. Yes, white knighting is responsible for all this. Yes, the simple act of opening a door for a female leads to male mortality statistics, if in no other way than it is a symbolic and mental reinforcement of the actions, customary beliefs, and protocols of a society that exist because of our consumption of male life as discardable utilities for the betterment of others. Without white knights, feminists would have nothing. They would be as a toothless lion, just trying to gum you to death with their abhorrent bigotry. Short of man-made weaponry like guns, feminists would have no bargaining chips, no power to do anything if white knights didn't enforce their privilege and elevation in society to the point where males take their abuse and say, "Thank you, ma'am, may I have another?" There are other disposal enforcement operatives that enforce the devaluation paradigm, even in the absence of females. You see, white knighting enforces male disposal, with females expressly the beneficiaries of such devaluing actions. Yet there is another vein or branch of DOs who are essentially a version of the alpha archetype. They are fearful chest-thumping thugs. These are the males that are fiercely competitive and abusive of males when there are no females around. You see, these are the males that pick on more timid males, such as in school or at work. These are the males that will hang out of a truck window and taunt males in other cars looking for a fight. These are the males that will pick on any other male anywhere, even when there are no females around to see or be impressed. Because these males are laboring under alpha grandeur. They are trying to assume a dominant position over other males, which strokes their failing egos and establishes a hierarchy amongst males. Yet this hierarchy of alpha, or competition and bullying other males while jockeying for social position, this is only applicable in a paradigm of male expendability. Males must compete and establish a pecking order. Alpha is a role within a male-disposing paradigm, gynocentrism. Yep, all leads back to gynocentrism eventually, if you trace all back to their roots. So alpha thugs will abuse and hurt other males when there are no females at all around, and the abuse is not done with females in mind. Yet still they are laboring under a model of competition. Competition as defined by winning rights to female approval and reproductive access. All males on some level realize males as disposable. And thus these wannabe silverbacks abuse other males as a way to command more personal relevance, and thus more value, as they can intimidate lesser males into the disposability meat grinder before them. This is the story of military hierarchy throughout history. Alpha thugs establishing themselves above the pawns, the ambient male cannon fodder, thus insulating themselves from the inherent disposability they possess by virtue of their Y chromosome. All males are trained in the DO paradigm, usually with alpha thugs as their drill instructors. It starts in school, where males will bully lesser males, and it only intensifies as males grow, and the competition paradigm is further practiced as males are encouraged into sports and scholarship jockeying. Alpha thugs abuse males not specifically for females, but it is done under a grander nature competition paradigm, which is gynocentric and male devaluing in its execution. Alpha thugs inhabit many places, such as the military, or in gangs, or even in prison, where males abuse other males not for female entertainment or approval, but rather for pack hierarchy, all of which still enforces gynocentrism through male disposability. Chest-thumping alpha thugs are the drunk males looking to fight with other males to prove something to themselves. They are the males that will mock other males, looking for that male to insult them back so they can have an excuse to fight with that male. They will come by and spit in the food of a lesser male to try and provoke a reaction so they can beat that male up. Alpha thugs spoil for a fight and look for any opportunity to provoke other males so they can abuse them. They need to abuse other males to validate their belief as superior. They validate themselves through male abuse, independent of females. Alpha thugs are different from white knights, yet both veins of disposability enforcement operatives uphold the same ends: male devaluation, which leads to abuse and ultimately disposability. White knights definitely piss me off, but alpha thugs are the most low, the most vile example of DO that there is. A male who abuses other males in the absence of females. These are the lowliest of males. Since in the absence of females, males should be embracing and bonding, not further abusing or impugning. And both these gynocentric operatives actually physically enforce female elevation and entitlement. Manginas and simps are the pencil pushers of gynocentrism. Within gynocentrism, white knights and alpha thugs are the enforcement branch, and feminists are the propaganda branch, while manginas and simps are the feminists' assistants. Manginas are the doormats who push ideology. yet do not enforce anything. They are the soft, weakened diaper bag carriers, the spineless, gossipy males that will obey females and placate them to get a pat on the head from those females. Manginas settle for the post-baby body, and they are the ones who finance the post-baby expenses that some white knight caused. Manginas are emasculated mama's boys, or the soft males that you would swear were gay if they were not male feminists. Manginas can turn into white knights, but usually they are more beta, and they call other males names while hiding behind mommy's apron. Manginas are like toothless sharks, hiding behind the female elevation that white knights enforce. Manginas dress as instructed, accomplish their list of female-dictated chores as instructed, and take abuse as instructed, all while saying, "Thank you, ma'am, please, strike me again," or "Males suck, we're all pigs, I'm so sorry," and "I am to blame," and "I am wrong, please, walk all over me, dear madam." Feminists and manginas are simply impotent harbingers of hate if white knights did not enforce their prejudice. Gynocentrism only has traction in society because DOs physically enforce it. Misandry would suffer a debilitating blow and cease to cause harm if the physical enforcement division of gynocentrism, such as white knights, suddenly disappeared. So white knights and alpha thugs are the problem. This disgusting lot is what I dial my sights upon. Simple bigotry exists as thought patterns. Prejudice only gains existence through action. Male devaluation is the thought form of prejudice. Male disposability is the action that gives this bigotry actuality. Gynocentrism calls for male devaluation in people's minds. White knights are the ones who come along and turn bigotry into action and enforce it upon the world. DOs are all those who physically do anything which promotes male worth denigration. Without physical enforcement, gynocentrism is simply an inert, benign bias. Yet with enforcement, bias in thought bridges the gap into bigotry in action, and action is where all the pain and suffering and turmoil of humans originates. Gynocentrism is a thought form leading to bigotry against males, yet it is impotent, benign in its thought form. However, when someone enforces it, it becomes action, and it causes fatality. DOs are the gynocentric enforcers. Males are the killers of male worth, value, and personhood. Males cause male suicide and all manner of male death. DOs are the disease. Bottom line, white knights abuse and feed off of their own. So then I strategically place myself as a black knight to defend the broken, the beaten, and the damned, to liberate the enslaved. And as such, I have breached the perimeter, and I make my way to the DO encampment. I spit on my last grenade, and then toss it into the DO stronghold. My friends, my brothers, stand with me, live free.